Every one of us, at some point, feels like life is spinning out of control. Whether it's losing a job, going through a painful breakup, or just trying to keep up with the madness of daily routines, those moments hit hard. They shake us. They make us question everything. And in the middle of that chaos, we often feel helpless, like we're drowning without a life raft. But what if I told you that within that chaos lies your greatest opportunity? That right there, in the middle of your most overwhelming storm, you hold the power not just to survive, but to grow, to evolve, and to rise stronger than ever before. This isn't some feel-good fantasy. It's real, it's ancient, and it's been tested through centuries of hardship and human struggle. Today, we're diving into 10 powerful strategies drawn from one of the oldest and most respected schools of thought, Stoic philosophy. This isn't just about reading quotes from Marcus Aurelius or Epictetus. It's about understanding how they took pain, loss, power, and pressure and turned them into unshakable inner strength. This video isn't just another self-help list. This is your blueprint for building true mental resilience, the kind of strength that holds firm when everything else around you crumbles, the kind of clarity that keeps you calm in the middle of chaos, and the kind of power that turns setbacks into setups for something far greater. We're going to walk through practical tools, not vague advice, that you can apply immediately. You'll learn how to take control of your emotions, reframe failure, and create a mindset that thrives no matter what life throws at you. And trust me, you don't want to miss a single second of this, because each one of these techniques could unlock a door inside you, a door to a new level of focus, control, and purpose. The type of mindset that doesn't just bounce back from adversity, but uses it as fuel to go further. So before we get into it, do yourself a favor. Hit that subscribe button. It's free, it supports what we do, and it keeps powerful content like this coming your way. And most importantly, stay with me. Watch this video till the end. Absorb every single idea, because the next few minutes could completely reshape the way you see challenge, stress, and life itself. You're here for a reason. You're seeking something more. And what you're about to discover isn't just philosophy. It's your path to strength, to peace, and to personal power. Let's begin. What makes someone truly irresistible isn't just about how they look. Sure, physical appearance might catch the eye, but it's never what holds someone's attention. True irresistibility is deeper, magnetic, and often hard to define. But let's break it down. Confidence without arrogance. Confident people don't need to prove themselves. They know who they are, and that quiet self-assurance draws people in. They walk into a room and shift the energy, not because they're loud, but because they're grounded. 2. Authenticity. People who are unapologetically themselves, quirks and all, are attracted because they give others permission to be real too. Pretending is exhausting. Being around someone real is refreshing. 3. Emotional intelligence. The ability to listen, empathize, understand others' emotions without judgment. It's rare, and when someone has it, it's captivating. They make others feel seen, which is powerful. 4. Passion. Not just romantic passion, but passion for life, for their craft, for learning, for growth. Passion is energy, and energy is contagious. Someone who's lit up by what they do, irresistible. 5. Playfulness and humor. Life's serious enough. People who can laugh, tease, be spontaneous. They're a breath of fresh air. Playfulness creates connection, lowers guards, and makes everything lighter. 6. Mystery and depth. Not in a manipulative or secretive way, but when someone has layers, depth of thought, intriguing perspectives, it makes others want to know more. They leave you curious, not confused. 7. Integrity. Someone who lives by their values, follows through, and treats others with respect. That's magnetic. You feel safe around them, and that kind of trust is rare. 8. Presence. Being truly present, not distracted, not glued to their phone, not thinking about what to say next. When someone gives you their full attention, it's like a gift. That focus is unforgettable. So what makes someone truly irresistible? It's how they make others feel seen, valued, inspired, alive. Want to dive deeper into the psychology behind it and learn how to embody these traits? Let me know. I can write a full voiceover script or video on this too. Imagine waking up each day knowing that no matter what happens, you have the strength to handle it. That's the core of Stoicism. Focus only on what you can control and let go of the rest. Most of our stress comes from trying to manage things beyond our reach, other people's actions, random events, the past, or the future. But Stoicism teaches us that peace comes from within. Your thoughts, your choices, your attitude, these are your power. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Stoicism isn't about being cold or emotionless. It's about understanding your emotions and not letting them control you. When something upsets you, ask yourself, can I control this? If the answer is no, let it go. Life will always throw challenges your way. But instead of resisting them, the Stoic mindset encourages you to embrace them as opportunities for growth. Epictetus, who was born a slave, taught that freedom isn't about your situation, it's about how you think. He said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Stoicism is a philosophy of action. It teaches you to live with purpose, to be guided by courage, wisdom, self-control, and justice. In a world full of distractions, it helps you stay centered and calm. It doesn't promise a perfect life, but it gives you the mindset to face life's chaos with clarity and strength. The next time life feels overwhelming, remember, you don't control everything, but you do control how you respond. And in that, you have incredible power. Imagine living a life where your happiness isn't determined by likes, comments, or the approval of others. That's the Stoic secret, indifference to external validation. In today's world, it's easy to get caught up in seeking approval from friends, family, or even strangers on social media. But the Stoics believe that true peace comes from within, not from the opinions of others. Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, taught that we should focus on our own actions and values, not on how the world perceives us. He said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Seeking validation from others is a trap. It pulls you away from your true self and creates a constant need for external affirmation. The Stoics, however, believed in building a strong inner foundation. They understood that external validation is fleeting, and it often leads to disappointment. The only validation that truly matters is self-validation, the confidence that comes from aligning your actions with your values. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wrote in his Meditations, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This wisdom encourages us to focus on living a virtuous life, not on how others perceive us. When you live with integrity and purpose, you no longer depend on external validation to feel good about yourself. By practicing indifference to the opinions of others, we free ourselves from the constant need to prove ourselves. We start living for our own approval, for our own values, and for the satisfaction of knowing we are doing our best, regardless of what others think. In the end, the Stoic secret is simple. True contentment doesn't come from seeking approval. It comes from knowing that you are enough, exactly as you are. Detachment is one of the most powerful tools for building confidence, and it's a key concept in Stoic philosophy. In a world that constantly pushes us to chase approval, material success, and external validation, detachment teaches us to step back and detach from the things we can't control. This ability to let go of what's outside of our control is what builds a solid, unshakable sense of confidence. When we're constantly attached to outcomes, whether it's a promotion at work, the approval of friends, or success in a project, our confidence becomes fragile. Why? Because these things are outside our control. and depending on them for our self-worth makes us vulnerable. Detachment teaches us to focus on what we can control: our actions, our mindset, and our responses to external events. By letting go of attachment to outcomes, we free ourselves from the emotional roller coaster of highs and lows. The Stoic philosophers like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius believe that the path to true freedom is to stop depending on external circumstances for happiness. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." By embracing this mindset, we learn that our confidence doesn't come from what happens to us, but from how we handle what happens. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring about the things that matter to you. It means you let go of the fear and anxiety that come with trying to control them. When you detach from the outcome and focus solely on putting in the effort, your confidence grows because you understand that no matter the result, you've done your best, and that's enough. With detachment, we stop tying our self-worth to things beyond our control. We start to trust in our own abilities and judgment. This shift in perspective builds inner strength, resilience, and a deeper sense of self-assurance. In the end, detachment empowers us to face challenges without fear and embrace life with unshakable confidence. Emotional control is one of the most valuable skills you can develop, and it's a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. The Stoics believe that our emotions, when left unchecked, can dominate our behavior and cloud our judgment. But the true art of emotional control isn't about suppressing feelings. It's about managing them, understanding them, and responding wisely. Emotions like anger, frustration, or anxiety can easily throw us off balance, especially in stressful situations. The Stoics taught that while we can't always control what happens to us, we do have control over how we respond. Marcus Aurelius famously said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." This highlights the Stoic belief that we can choose our reactions to external stimuli, regardless of the emotional triggers we face. The art of emotional control starts with awareness. The first step is recognizing that emotions are temporary and don't have to dictate our actions. When we feel overwhelmed by an emotion, the key is to pause, breathe, and reflect. Instead of reacting impulsively, we can step back, take a moment to understand the root of the emotion, and choose how to respond. This mindful approach helps us avoid the knee-jerk reactions that often lead to regret. It's also important to remember that emotional control doesn't mean denying or repressing feelings. It means acknowledging them without letting them control us. For example, if you feel anger building up, you can recognize that emotion, but instead of lashing out, you pause, breathe, and choose a more constructive response. By practicing this repeatedly, emotional control becomes second nature. This practice also ties into the Stoic concept of acceptance. The Stoics taught that we should accept the things we cannot change and focus on how we can control our responses to those things. Emotional control allows us to navigate life's challenges with calm and clarity, rather than being swept away by our emotions. Mastering emotional control isn't something that happens overnight, but it's a skill worth cultivating. With consistent practice, we can respond to life's challenges with patience, reason, and inner strength, ultimately leading to a more balanced and fulfilling life. Presence over performance is a powerful mindset shift that can radically transform how you approach life, work, and relationships. In a world that often emphasizes achievements, accolades, and outward success, the Stoic principle of focusing on presence encourages us to prioritize being fully engaged in the moment, rather than obsessing over how well we perform. When we focus too much on performance, we risk getting caught up in the pursuit of external validation, approval, or recognition. This can lead to stress, self-doubt, and burnout, as we constantly strive for perfection or fear failure. The Stoics understood that external outcomes are outside our control, and that our true power lies in how we show up in the present moment. By focusing on presence, we shift our attention away from the results and instead commit ourselves to fully experiencing the task at hand. Whether it's a work project, a conversation, or a personal goal, being present means giving our full attention and energy to the process, not worrying about the outcome. This not only reduces anxiety, but also allows us to perform at our best without the pressure of needing to be perfect. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, often reflected on the importance of focusing on what's within our control, our thoughts, actions, and presence in each moment. He reminded himself that the key to true success was to act with purpose, integrity, and focus, regardless of the external results. In practice, being present means letting go of distractions, quieting the noise in your mind, and embracing the task or moment with clarity and intent. It's about being mindful of how you're feeling, what you're doing, and how you're interacting with the world around you. This kind of presence allows you to engage more deeply, perform with greater focus, and experience a sense of fulfillment that comes from simply being, rather than constantly striving for more. When you choose presence over performance, you free yourself from the burden of comparison and perfectionism. You cultivate peace of mind, which in turn enhances your confidence and emotional well-being. The Stoics teach us that true power comes not from external recognition or performance, but from how we show up each day, focused, present, and in control of our own actions. Self-mastery is a magnetic force that attracts success, respect, and inner peace. It's the art of controlling your thoughts, emotions, and actions, rather than being controlled by them. The Stoics believe that true power lies within us, and the key to unlocking this power is through mastering ourselves. When we gain control over our impulses and reactions, we become unstoppable. Self-mastery is more than just discipline. It's about having the strength to act in accordance with your values, even when it's hard. It's resisting the urge to react impulsively, to give into distractions, or to fall into negative thought patterns. Instead, it's choosing to act with wisdom, patience, and integrity in every moment. When you practice self-mastery, you become more consistent, reliable, and grounded. People are naturally drawn to this kind of energy. It creates an aura of stability and confidence that others can't help but admire. It's not about perfection, but about striving to be the best version of yourself, consistently. Self-mastery also builds resilience. By learning to control your emotions and reactions, you develop the mental strength to handle adversity without losing your composure. Life will throw challenges your way, but when you've mastered yourself, those challenges no longer define you. They become opportunities to show your strength. In the Stoic philosophy, self-mastery is seen as a lifelong pursuit, but one that brings immeasurable rewards. The more you master yourself, the more you attract positive outcomes, not because you chase them, but because your inner strength becomes the magnet that pulls success, peace, and fulfillment into your life. In the Stoic worldview, silence is often seen as a source of strength. The Stoic communication style is deliberate, measured, and powerful, prioritizing thoughtful words over impulsive speech. Stoics believe that true power lies in restraint and clarity, not in filling the air with unnecessary noise. When you practice silence in communication, you give yourself space to think before reacting. You avoid speaking out of anger, frustration, or the need to impress others. Instead, you choose your words carefully, making them impactful and purposeful. This silence doesn't come from weakness, but from strength. The strength to control your impulses and avoid being swayed by external forces. In conversations, the Stoic remains calm, composed, and focused on the present moment. They listen more than they speak, understanding that true wisdom often comes from observing and reflecting before responding. This quiet confidence builds trust and respect as others notice that their words carry weight and meaning. Stoic silence also protects your inner peace. By resisting the urge to engage in meaningless chatter or debates, you maintain emotional clarity. This practice helps to keep your thoughts grounded and your reactions balanced, allowing you to navigate even the most challenging situations with calmness and grace. The Stoic communication style teaches us that sometimes silence speaks louder than words. It's not about saying less for the sake of it, but about being intentional with every word you choose to speak. By mastering the art of silence, you unlock the strength to communicate with purpose, wisdom, and integrity. In modern relationships, applying Stoic wisdom can be a game changer. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and accept what we cannot. In the context of relationships, this means taking responsibility for your own actions, emotions, and responses while letting go of the need to control or change others. A key principle of Stoicism in relationships is practicing acceptance. People are going to act in ways that don't always align with your expectations, and that's okay. Instead of reacting with frustration or resentment, Stoics encourage us to see these moments as opportunities for growth. By accepting people as they are, without trying to change them, we cultivate deeper understanding and compassion. Another Stoic concept that can improve relationships is emotional resilience. Instead of being swept away by anger, jealousy, or disappointment, Stoics advocate for maintaining emotional equilibrium. This doesn't mean suppressing your feelings, but rather responding thoughtfully rather than impulsively. In relationships, this can help you communicate more effectively, resolve conflicts calmly, and build stronger emotional connections. Also, the Stoic approach to boundaries is crucial. By maintaining your inner peace and knowing what you can and cannot tolerate, you safeguard your well-being while allowing your relationships to thrive. Stoicism encourages self-awareness and clarity in understanding your own needs and limits. Ultimately, applying Stoic wisdom in modern relationships leads to greater emotional maturity, improved communication, and more meaningful connections. By focusing on what is within your control and accepting what is not, you build relationships that are founded on mutual respect, understanding, and emotional strength. Becoming unshakably attractive isn't about physical appearance or external validation. It's about cultivating inner strength, emotional control, and self-awareness. When you embrace Stoic principles like detachment, emotional resilience, and self-mastery, you shift your focus from seeking approval to living authentically. You stop chasing external validation and start radiating confidence that comes from within. Your ability to remain calm under pressure, act with integrity, and maintain boundaries makes you not only more attractive, but also more respected. The true secret lies in understanding that the most magnetic individuals are those who are at peace with themselves, unaffected by the fleeting opinions of others. So, to become irresistibly attractive, work on developing a strong inner foundation. Focus on mastering your emotions, controlling your reactions, and embracing who you are. By doing so, you'll naturally draw people in with your unshakable presence and genuine charisma.